How are we getting on, people? I hope you're all okay. We are back today with another Sunday Sessions video. If you're new to this series, it is basically where we choose a few pairs that we feel hold good potential for profitable positions in the coming week, and we highlight specific zones and areas that you guys can go off and apply to your own charts and then hopefully profit with the LAGFX team. Now, the reason why these videos are so informative are not only because we are giving you guys the opportunity to trade with us in the coming week, but you are also learning a little bit more about our strategy and how we analyze the markets on a day-to-day basis. Now, if there is anything that you are unsure about throughout this video, please leave it in the comments below and we'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. If you do go on to enjoy this video, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up and share along with your friends as well. Now, without further ado, let's jump straight into today's Sunday Sessions video. So you'll see on screen the first pair that we are going to go over today is the New Zealand dollar to the Canadian dollar. And what we are seeing at the moment is price putting in that corrective wave on the higher time frame structure. So we are looking at this market on the 1 hour time frames, and if we just zoom out, just so we can see previous data, you will notice how this market is clearly trading in a bearish way. Price is setting lower highs and lower lows in this market, which, as we know, is clear bearish structure. Now, what we are wanting to see is this bearishness continue furthermore, so we can take advantage of the end of this corrective wave and advantage of the next impulsive wave that trades us lower. Now, with us understanding the higher time frame structure of this market, we have a bias that we can trade with, and that in itself gives us a higher probability of being successful when we do place positions alongside that higher time frame bias. So when we are looking to sell into this market, there is a higher probability of our trade being successful because that's what the majority traders are doing, and that is the direction of this market. So now that we understand the bias of this market and we understand the direction, what we need to be doing and what we should be doing is finding areas of supply, as these are going to be areas that we can look to get involved in short positions from. So what I have done is I have looked at the most recent impulsive wave, which is this one here. So if we just highlight from A to B, this is the entire impulsive wave that has traded price lower, creating a new lower low within this bearish structure on the higher time frames. So what we need to be doing is finding areas of supply that price needs to trade back up into to clear any remaining supply before taking that leg lower yet again. So what I have done is looked within the impulsive wave, and I have managed to find a last buy to sell region. Now, this is a valid, unmitigated area within price that price does need to come and trade up into to clear any inefficiency that's laying below, as we can see, but also to clear any remaining orders that are also left over. Now, when price does penetrate this zone, we can expect a lot of supply to be introduced into this market, and that, in theory, should flip the supply and demand balance. So a penetration of this zone should encourage an S&D flip, and we should see that next impulsive wave trade us lower in the market anyways. So this gives us a target to trade into, but it also gives us an area to look to go short from. Now, because price hasn't actually reached this zone as of yet, we could look to actually buy into this market before we sell longer term. So what we could do is look within the current corrective wave for any demand zones that price needs to pull back into to continue this bullish correction into this supply zone here. So what I've done is I've highlighted a valid demand zone that I feel price will come and trade back into before taking us higher into this market to trade us into that supply zone. So what I want you guys to do now is pause the video, highlight this demand zone out for yourselves. It is probably on the 15-minute time frames. Let me have a look. Yes, so we can see this last sell to buy region here. Highlight this out as a valid demand zone that we want to see price trade into. From there, we can expect more demand to be introduced that should instigate the next fractal impulsive wave, taking us higher within this higher time frame bullish correction. And that gives us the opportunity to get involved in those buys. From there, obviously, we want to see price trade all the way up and into this higher time frame supply zone, where then we can expect supply to be introduced, that to flip the S&D, and then see price trade lower, creating a new lower low within this higher time frame bearish structure. So what I will be doing is waiting for price to trade us in for price to then break structure to the upside, and then that is when I will be looking to get involved in those buy positions. From there, I'll be trading price all the way up into this supply zone. Once we have the penetration of this supply zone, I'll be closing those buy positions and looking to then go short. So as I said to you earlier, mark out this as a valid demand zone, and also mark this out as a higher time frame supply zone as well. Okay, now heading over to the XAU USD market. As we can see, we were delivered with bearish structure after the penetration of this higher time frame supply zone. This has been and gone over multiple times in previous Sunday sessions videos, so I don't need to keep on repeating this, but price has delivered us with the bearish structure that we wanted. All we're waiting for now is price to put in that corrective wave, trading us higher to create that new lower high. From there, we can expect price to then go on to create a new lower low, following the laws of bearishness. So just to make that simple, you can see here that by price tapping into this supply zone here that I've got marked out, we would be creating that lower high, and then price should in theory go on to create that lower low. As we know, that is following the laws of bearishness, and that's what we are expecting after the higher time frame penetration of this zone here. Now, price is consolidating, it is within a range, and this is because price is preparing for that move higher. So I do believe price is going to trade us up into this valid supply zone here before trading us lower. But again, if we wanted to get involved in buy positions to trade us up and into this, I have marked out two areas that could be seen as good potential to get involved in those buy positions. We can expect price to potentially pull back, grab any remaining demand that it needs to before taking us higher and into this supply zone up here. So very similar to the NZD CAD, we just wanted to see price pull back into a demand zone. We can get involved in some temporary buy positions, trade price up and into this higher time frame supply zone, where we'll then be looking to go short as a longer term thing. So if you haven't done already, pause the video now, highlight this out as a potential area to get involved in those short positions as a longer term strategy and as a longer term trade. Also highlight these two zones as areas to buy into before we go short in this market. So pause the video, highlight those two zones out as well for yourselves. And it is just a case of waiting for price to pull back and pull into these zones and areas, deliver us with a break of structure to the opposite side, as that tells us that the corrective wave or the impulsive wave that's traded us into these zones has concluded and a new trend in the opposite direction is underway. Okay, now heading over to the Euro USD market. So as you can see, price put in the impulsive wave trading us lower. Price then tapped into a higher time frame demand zone. That's introduced demand, which has then traded price up and into this supply zone here. We did get involved in buy positions, as you can see, twice in fact. This was the best position that we got involved in, as this delivered us with 22 RR. And you can see here that we got involved in this market, not Friday just gone, but the previous Friday. And we actually took profit on Friday just gone, so just yesterday, as I'm recording this video on a Saturday. So it took a week, but we managed to gain 22% from this position, and that was just risking 1% of our equity. If you have looked at my analysis on TradingView, if you've looked at my analysis in the Learning Lounge group chat, you'll understand and you'll know that I am now wanting to see price reverse and trade us lower into this market. All we need to do is wait for the right confirmation in order to get involved in this market. And it looks as though we have that confirmation now. So this low here marks the last structural low within this bullish corrective wave, as this low here went on to create this high. So if price was to break this low, that would be telling us that this bullish correction has finished and the next wave trading us lower is ready to take place. So we have been delivered with that break of structure. All we need to do now is wait for price to pull back and into a valid supply zone, fractal supply zone of that nature, so we can get involved in some short positions. Now this candle here obviously represents a last buy to sell region. As you can see, price is trading up and into this zone, so I am expecting price to now trade us lower moving forward in the coming week, so I will be looking for those short opportunities. Now, if we look at the fractal nature of this structure, we can then highlight this as another last buy to sell region. Price has come down and pulled back up and into this. So potentially, this could be a way of entering in this market in the coming week. What we want to see now is price actually reject to the downside, start trading us lower, and then we can obviously get involved in those short positions. You can see that we have an unmitigated last sell to buy region here, and you can see how price has traded into that and then closed up here. That would tell us that price is still reacting to demand zones. So demand is overpowering supply at the moment. As you can see a little bit more clearly here, we've had a last sell to buy region. Price has come to trade in. We've had rejection. So we may see price trade us up higher before then trading us lower yet again. So I am definitely looking to go short in this market. We are just waiting for the final pieces of confirmation in order to get involved. Now, as we go down to the 1 minute time frames, we can further refine our zones that we are looking to trade from. And you can see how price has actually tapped into this last buy to sell region perfectly. So from here, I am probably wanting to see price break down in order for us to get involved in those shorts. So come the open, assuming price does continue to trade us lower, breaking this protected low here, I probably will look to get involved in this market. So I'm going to mark this out as a potential area that we want to see break. As soon as price breaks that low, that would tell us that the corrective phase trading us into this here has finished, and now a new trend taking us lower is obviously underway. So we want to see price break, price to come back up to tap into a fractal supply zone, and then that's where we would get involved in this market. So I'm definitely looking to go short. We just need to wait for further confirmation in order to get a safe entry. But definitely look to be getting short in the Euro USD market this coming week. Okay, now finally we're going to go over the Euro to the Great British Pound. This is a pair that I haven't really traded in some time now, but this was upon request. So I've done some analysis and I've got some ideas at which I'd like to see play out over the course of the next week. So we can see here how price is within a corrective phase. This is a bullish market. If I just zoom out, show you on the weekly time frame, you can see how clearly this is a bullish market, giving us clear higher highs and higher lows. You can see here that I've marked out two potential demand zones. I am expecting price to probably trade into one of these before continuing this impulsive wave trading us higher. But ultimately, we don't want to see price surpass this low here. Otherwise, that would be a complete break in this bullish structure. I'm pretty confident that price will probably trade down into one of two before continuing this impulsive wave, surpassing this high here and surpassing the highs that have already been created within this market. Now, if we zoom in and we look at the 4-hour time frames, you will notice that price is actually within a corrective phase on the fractal nature of this structure. We are seeing price come down, probably to grab more demand in order to continue pushing price higher, setting those new highs, because this is a bullish market overall. So I've got this marked out as an area to buy from longer term in this market, but there's no harm in getting involved in temporary short positions whilst price is trading in a bearish way. So if we just go down to the 30-minute time frames, you will notice that I have highlighted a last buy to sell region within this bearish structure. Now, for price to continue following the laws of bearishness, we can expect new lows and new highs to be set. So if we just mark this out as a last high, this as a last low, this as a new high, this as a new low, that's clear bearish structure. Now, I want to see price trade up and into this zone here to create a new lower high, for price to then go on to set a new lower low. Now, that would be following this bearish structure that price is currently putting in, but it's also following the higher time frame structure. Why? Because once price taps into this higher time frame demand zone, I am expecting a complete flip to the upside, and for price to then go on to set a higher time frame bullish wave. So there's no harm in getting involved, as I say, in these short positions, because by getting involved in a short here, we could capitalize on easily a 1-to-6 risk to reward ratio. All we need to do is just wait for price to trade us up, finish putting in that fractal corrective wave. Once price does penetrate this zone, we can expect a fractal break of structure to the downside. That gives us our confirmation that the correction has finished and the next impulsive wave is ready to take place, this one here. And then that is obviously when we can take advantage of that new move taking us lower and into this demand zone here. From there, we can then obviously readjust, evaluate the markets, and then prepare to get involved in some higher time frame long positions. But that is my analysis for the euro to the Great British Pound market. As I've said to you about previous zones and areas, pause the video, highlight this zone out as a potential area to get involved from, have your take profits set somewhere around 0.8462, as that is going to be an area to close those sell positions as demand is going to be introduced, and it should flip that S&D balance. So over the 4 markets that I have gone over today, I have highlighted some good potential areas that you guys can get involved in sell and buy positions from, both longer and shorter term trades. So apply those to your own charts, wait for price to penetrate the zones, wait for confirmation in order to enter, and then get yourself involved. As I said earlier, if you have any questions about the analysis I have gone through, if you're unsure about anything I've spoken about, please leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. And if you have enjoyed this video, do not forget to leave it a thumbs up. All the support you guys provide is very much appreciated. Now I hope you guys have enjoyed, and we will catch you all in the next Sunday Sessions video.